This is regarding to a student that just joined with us. And a lot of time I may either send you a template or ask you to use a photocopy paper to draw something that's more difficult so that we do not damage the watercolor paper. And the reason that it's easy to damage watercolor paper because there's a coating or sometimes people say sizing. And these are gelatin. So that's why that it's very easy to get damaged. So if we have a difficult subject, this is what we will do is we will send you either a template or I may show you in the class that you can draw the subject. Okay, so right now that I'm using a template to show you everybody. So what happened is my template here in this situation here is I already using a marker. Okay, and so what happened is you have a first choice, and that first choice is you can turn the paper around and using a 4B 5B pencil and darken the back here. Okay, so you can darken the back here, then you can transfer. Okay, the other way it's more efficient is I prepared transfer paper, and this transfer paper means I took another photocopy paper and using a 4B pencil and I darkened the back. One of the things that sometimes people don't understand is when they do this, they do it so dark to the point what happened is it's become very, very shiny. And this what would happen when you transfer, some of these pencil lead will be get onto your watercolor paper. So do not do it too hard, but you do want to be dark enough so that you can transfer. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the photocopy paper and then the dark side actually on top of the watercolor paper. Then you take your template, you line it up. You can place anywhere you like. Okay, so for example, if you feel that the duck should be angled, then you can go angle too. So what will happen in this case here, this is the front of the duck here. We like a little bit more space there. So I'm going to push it a little bit to the side, to the back here. And the bottom, I don't want it to have do too much. So what happened, I line up the bottom and I also extended the paper to go outside the paper. So the whole duck is actually a little bit towards my left. Then what I do is I take a piece of masking tape, very tiny, okay? Then I'll tape only the top corner. And the reason we do that is because then you can double check what you have transferred. Okay, so I'm going to proceed to transfer now. So you always transfer, okay, with a HB pencil. Because if you do something that's soft, then it may not go over. So before I continue more, I double check to see if I see the line underneath. Now I can see the line, so that means I'm fine with this particular transferring. So I'm going to proceed to transfer. And remember, when we transfer this, you try your best to be accurate. But occasionally you will find yourself that's not able to transfer everything because for some reason that's you forgot that's what you have done. Okay, so this is why we ask you that only tape the top part so that you can take the paper and then take a look to see if you have transferred everything. Okay, anything that has a shading, we do not darken it. Okay, we only do the edge. Okay, so again, at this point here, I could take a look again and you can see it's been transferred. Okay, so and the reason that again, you can see that the two masking tape on the top is help you to realize that the paper is secure. Okay, so all this thing here, it's important that you make sure you go at one direction so that when you transfer, you don't forget to transfer anything. Okay. Now, sometimes the more you're efficient, you may not decide to transfer everything. You may decide to say you are good enough to, to do it freehand. Then it's fine. But when we're doing such a complicated subject, that you want to make sure that you do get all the information, and even you're off by a little bit, it's still fine because we are not trying to say that you have to be perfect. But anyway, you try your best. Okay. So you can see this particular duck here, the wood duck actually has a lot of detail. Okay, so if you jump over the place, then you're gonna forget where have you done the transfer. Now, commercially, that you can buy them. Unfortunate, I find that the commercial one have difficult time erasing. So I prefer to do it my own. Okay, and the same thing again, not to worry about it. That's if during the transfer, maybe you have done something a little bit different, because we can always correct them or to adjust, I call it. See, for example, these fine here, it's impossible for you to actually transfer exact. So that's why we're talking about this is only helping you to realize the direction of the feather. Okay, I'm almost there. Okay, see these here, I don't care as much. So I only very carefully and then done some. And then the rest of them that's during the watercolor, I will do it more carefully. Okay, so you can see all the shading. Okay, I didn't transfer. That's my reference, that's all. Okay, so I did it to this point here, so I'm gonna double check. So I looked at the whole thing here and look like it's fine. And one of the area, maybe this line on the feet here, I didn't transfer, but that's okay. You can see what happened is I already more or less transfer most of this area. So what happened, I go back here, then I'll take a look again. Then I can see, okay, I use my pencil to do a little bit of adjustment. Okay, and then same thing in here, the feet here, again, it's not important, but this is just an exercise so that everybody can see what I tried to do. So you can see now we have completed our transfer. Okay, and then you already saw me that if too light, I can go back and use my pencil. I can, make it a little bit darker so I can see it during the watercolor. Okay, so I won't lose too much of this detail. Okay. All right. So that's all for the transferring. Okay. So hopefully that's after few practice, you guys will get a much better. And then so don't be scared of doing a very complicated subject.